What's up, guys, and welcome back to Aether Raids Week 85, Day 6. Today's actually the first day that I am starting mock battles, so as long as my phone doesn't take an overly lengthy amount of time to load up the list, I'd like to introduce the person who has the honors of initiating my mock battle series, and that is fellow Elibe enthusiast Monty Mole. And Monty Mole, initially when I checked your map, you had one of your gravity trap tiles placed in front of your Elibe, and so initially that made me consider tanking your team. But after recently revisiting your map and seeing that you had placed or moved one of the traps over here, I think, I can actually have one of my units engage this Elibe, and so that enables me to attempt a Gale Force clear. And I wanted to demonstrate that first today because I'm using Amelia right now, and that actually allows me to clear this rather reasonably since Amelia is able to check this Soleil. And the reason why that's important is because Soleil is running Repel, and normally if I attempted to do this with Legendary Hector during Fire Season, he would actually be unable to take out the Soleil because she would mitigate some of the damage that he deals to her even with Savage Blow. And I can't rely on the Bolt Tower because this defense map is pretty well constructed in the sense that I have to take quite a few turns to break some structures and then set up my units before engaging. And so from here, let's segue into introducing the rest of your team. I don't know if my viewers or mock battlers are the type of people to really care about divulging their information regarding their units too much, so I'll try to just cover their build rather than show off the number of merges or whatever. If you guys don't care, let me know. And I'd also like to know if you guys would prefer me to do mock battles with animations on or off. So I would appreciate it if you guys just left me a comment regarding those two items. And so we have a plus speed refined Argent Bow Klein with Swift Sparrow, Lull Speed Defense, Defense Smoke, and Death Blow with a Rally Attack Defense and Ruptured Sky, and Soleil with a speed refined Carrot Cudgel, Reposition Luna, Distant Counter, Repel, Infantry Pulse, and Squad Ace AF2. These names are just getting a bit ridiculous, aren't they? We have Ophelia, plus attack, her default Missile Attain, Rally Up Attack Plus, Blazing Wind, Life and Death, Special Spiral, Savage Blow, Hardy Bearing, Peony with her base kit, essentially, except for Ground Orders and Guidance, and she's also running Moonbow. Elibe, Resplendent, running Blazing Durandal, Reposition Gale Force, Swift Sparrow 3, Lunge, Attack Smoke, and Quicken Pulse, and plus speed, minus res Mills, with his base kit Miracle and Wings of Mercy, and HP plus 5. So this overall seems to be a combination of Pulse and sort of stall tactics, in addition to Gale Force, Wings of Mercy shenanigans with Elibe. Due to the fact that Elibe could probably lunge somebody onto one of these lightning traps, and also due to the fact that Soleil would give slower units a lot more trouble in being able to take her out. And so this is a pretty well designed team overall. Unfortunately, I won't be able to showcase what it can do if you decide to enemy phase it this time around. So, Monty Mole, if you're interested, you can request for another Light Season mock battle where I demonstrate my tanking strategy, and I'll showcase it there. So, keep that in mind, I guess. Now, initially, in order for this Gale Force strat to be not considered a gamble for me, I had to actually test this trap early on in the map, because otherwise if I had tested this the turn of initiating, Roy would have to gamble on the trap doing, I believe, 30 damage or less. because otherwise he wouldn't have enough bulk after Fury recoil damage and taking in-combat damage from this Elibe to be able to take hits from either the Peony or the Nils. And so testing this early on actually enables Air's Sparkling Boost to do its work throughout the 5 or 6 turns that I take to set up my team. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and place Sayri. Oh, one thing that I almost forgot to mention was that I actually do require the Tactics Room, which is conveniently placed in front of Peony so that I can occupy this tile. And this does help out my Gale Force strat. Though for my tanking strat, I actually don't need to use this tile, but we'll get to that at another point. And so I'm going to go ahead and move Sayri here, dance her with Peony.
Pleasant dreams.
And rebuild her onto the trap. Now I'm going to treat that as if it were the real trap so that Air's Sparkling Boost can actually do its work. And we're going to go ahead and move everybody up the left side so I can break some structures. Now, since this isn't a tanking team, I don't actually need to destroy the Dark Shrine, so that's one thing off my list that I don't have to worry about. And from here, I believe I needed Peony to be below Amelia, so we're going to go ahead and break that library, get Air to get the Aether, and draw her back, and set up for the next turn. Now, I don't have too much room to work with on the left side, so I can't exactly break the Bright Shrine and the Panic Manor at the same time without putting my units in danger, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Bright Shrine first, and then get rid of the Panic Manor the following turn. And like I mentioned earlier, I actually can't rely on the Bolt Tower. It just went off because I have to take an extra amount of turns to set up my team. So, from this point, I need to get Air to get the Panic Manor, we need to dance her.
Pleasant dreams.
And the reason why I need to get the Panic Manor wasn't because I was afraid of panic per se, but because I needed to break that structure so I have a tile that I can engage this Klein from. And from here I can get Air to orders behind Amelia, and I can have Sayri draw back Peony. And then I believe I'm going to have to take an extra turn to get my units into position here. I'm going to go ahead and move Sayri here, and then get Peony to dance her so that she's behind Roy.
Good dreams are born.
And from this position, Peony can provide attack tactic buffs to both Roy and Amelia. Now, something that I had to pay attention to here was that I couldn't give Roy defense tactic buffs for my Air. Otherwise, he would take too little damage from Elibe and be ineligible for Wings of Mercy strats later on. So I have to keep Air further than 2 spaces away from Roy, and thanks to that, Roy ends up taking 19 damage, which in addition to 12 points of damage from Fury Recoil would put him below 50% HP. So we'll go ahead and do that first. Father versus son. So first the son borrows his father's clothing and weapon, and then his father steals it back. So that's kind of funny. We're going to go ahead and push Amelia up, and Amelia can take out this Klein, who has enough bulk to eat 2 hits from Amelia, which is good for me, because I needed 2 hits for Gale Force. And from here, Roy's going to initiate on Ophelia first. Initially, I was considering saving Ophelia for last, and trapping both the Nils and Ophelia. But what ends up happening is that Nils actually, with Frost Breath, debuffs Roy just enough so that he can take Roy out, and since I don't want that, I'm going to have to take out Nils next, because he actually has enough bulk to survive right now. So after doing another Savage Blow and being refreshed by Peony, he'll be able to eliminate another threat. And thanks to that Savage Blow, and with Peony providing Cardinal buffs, Amelia actually does just enough damage to this Soleil and secures the kill. So, after this, Roy is going to take out the Nils because he has enough bulk at this point to take a hit from a Tamari debuffed Peony, who is at 41 attack, I believe. So that would mean that she would be at 49 attack with triangle advantage, and that would mean that Roy takes 8 damage, so he can survive. And so from here, Peony, the enemy Peony, Monty Mole's Peony, only has the option of attacking these 4 units. And despite the fact that Sayri's at color disadvantage being a red, she can distant counter. But for the most part, I haven't engaged my bonus unit in anything other than assists. So I don't think that it would have mattered what kind of bonus unit I have. So your Peony decides to attack my Peony, that's fine. And yeah, so we're down to the last turn. Definitely clearing it by the skin of my teeth. And let's see, so Peony can take herself out, and that wraps up the match. So good match overall, Monty Mole. I appreciated the showcase. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, if you're interested in doing this again, go ahead and leave me a request. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Deus Ex, who also made a request. Deus Ex, I'm not sure if you read my comment on the previous video, or the reply that I gave you, rather. I'll see if I can squeeze you in tomorrow, but if not, I'm going to hold off your light season request till the following light season, if that's okay with you. And I'll have you first on the list for the Astra season mock battle. So, keep an eye out for that. And from here, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the actual match. And we're going to go ahead and double up. Okay, and so we're up against Aka2 Poison. I think that's how you pronounce it. So somebody who follows Icarus. AR tier 25 with a Leon lead. And from the looks of it, it seems to be an infantry pulse. Let's see if we're right. Infantry pulse, times pulse, infantry pulse, infantry pulse, infantry pulse. Okay, so I think given that I don't have too many tiles I can work with adjacent to these units, I'm probably not gonna try and Gale Force this. I think I might just go with the Cecilia and Pulse Smoke these guys, because she's pretty much a direct check. I don't really see anybody here who's a huge threat to Cecilia. If this Soth were running Sky Myogi, I could potentially reconsider, but he's only +1 merges. Let's go over their merges. So this Leon's at +6, unmerged Sothis at minus attack, +1 Sylvia at plus HP. He's running a Gaetian. What is that? So that's chill attack. Yoon with a Wings of Mercy 2, and we went over Soth already, and a +10 Res Refined Tierfang running Iceberg. That's an interesting choice. You normally would either see him running something like Vengeance or Bonfire to complement his higher defense, but I guess this person wanted his Seliph to be more of a mixed tank, which is fine. Panic Matter over here. I don't think that's going to affect me too badly because my Cecilia and Zephiel have naturally higher HP, and I think I'm going to be taking action around this column anyway. Though what I do want to do is perhaps try to get rid of this Dark Shrine, since that does affect my Cecilia and her ability to tank. So there is a possibility that if I just plop Cecilia here and target the Yoon and just leave her there, I would end up just KOing everybody. But the pots are right in front of me, so I think that might actually not be a terrible idea. Sothis has Lunge for some reason, and she's also running Miracle, but let's see, there's 1 Infantry Pulse, 2, 3, 4, and she's running Times Pulse, so she has Instant Miracle. But with Pulse Smoke, that'll go away, and she can't recharge it because I have Special Fighter. Ideally, if Cecilia doesn't lose 50% of her HP. So, well, what am I talking about? This Seliph will survive. He has Miracle built in, so if I think it might take me like 3 to 4 turns to set up, and I could probably go turn 4 or 5. But the Seliph is outside of his healing tower range, and my Bolt Tower does affect him, so it shouldn't be too hard to knock him out. So I think that's where that's what I'm gonna go with. And oh wait, that's the wrong team. Just double checking. There's no point in double checking now that I've entered the battle. What am I thinking? I'm pretty sure I did everything before I started the video anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. And obviously, since I need to snipe the Dark Shrine from a water tile, I'm gonna have to get Peony and Air to do that stuff for me. So I think what I can do though is probably have Sayri drawback if I wanted to keep Peony closer to my Cecilia. Just making sure that there's nothing funny going on over here. Okay. And go ahead and take some turns to break these structures in front of us. Let's see. Okay. So what I can have happen is break this with Air, break this with Sayri, and dance Air so that she's within striking distance of the Dark Shrine the following turn, so that hopefully it doesn't take too long. Oh yeah, Soth is being shut down by my Tactics room, so that's why he can't reach the water tile. So from this point, I guess I can do this, and end turn. Okay, go ahead and have Zephyr break this, Celia to get the Aether, Air to snipe the Dark Shrine, draw back Air, and let's see. Do I dance Sayri to draw back again? I do kind of want Peony to be on the other side, perhaps, so that Air only has to take like 2 turns maybe to get set up. I guess that's not too bad. So if I do that, I can take turn 3 to provide buffs to Cecilia and then make my move on turn 4. So go ahead and dance.
Good dreams are born.
Okay, go ahead and draw her back.
Death's caress.
And we'll have Air 2 spaces away from my Cecilia. And Peony adjacent to Cecilia. And we'll make our move next turn. Okay, so from here, go ahead and repo.
Let's try that.
And I can take out that Yoon. Bow of Beauty does 4, it gives 4 extra stats, and Foe cannot make a follow-up attack. So I won't be able to take out this Leon in one round of combat, I think. But he shouldn't be able to trigger Ignis on me. I don't think there's really anything else that I need to worry about too much.
Maybe this way. Pleasant dreams.
Okay, so
What's your answer?
from here I'll get rid of the Yoon. For some reason I thought that that Yoon was 2 spaces away from that Leon. So, well, I suppose this is what I have my secondary tank for, right, Zephiel? We'll go ahead and reposition my Cecilia, and I guess I'll have to eat an Ignis from this Leon. Unfortunately. Let's see here. I won't be able to provide distant guard buffs to Zephiel, so we'll go ahead and give that to Cecilia just in case, and have Air retreat further back. So this ought to be this ought to be exciting for you guys.
Get lost.
All right, we'll see. 26 damage. Okay, it's not terrible.
Come on, show me a smile.
And he decides to attack Zephiel again. Alright, here comes Seliph. So he's likely going to live with 1 HP, but I don't really have to worry about that since Sylvia already went with her Wings of Mercy. Soth does 0 damage. And Sothis is probably going to lunge. And she'll have her Miracle active, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. I'll have Cecilia take over from this point. Yeah, I kind of overlooked that Leon for some reason and his positioning. But, thankfully, Cecilia diffused the worst parts of that team composition, so go ahead and take out the Seliph, I guess.
This is a blessing.
Alright.
Yes.
Actually, I suppose I can get rid of the Soth now. Leon already does, like... Well, he's debuffed right now. Let's see. Okay, let's get rid of the Soth instead. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not thinking too hard right now. I'm kind of half asleep, to be honest. But I don't think it'll be too large of a problem. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass later. So take out the Sothis. And Peony. And I should be able to take... Yeah, I'll be fine. Okay. And now Leon decides to go after my Cecilia for some reason.
Time for a lesson.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead and attack Leon with Zephiel. And if that was the trap, I simply would have had Peony Dance. But
Yes.
from here, we can go ahead and have Zephiel and Cecilia tag team if Zephiel can't take out the Sylvia. So, with Bonfire on board, that is enough to wrap up this match. So, a nice Goldilocks kind of defense map. Not too easy, not too hard. And yeah, that was my match for today. If anybody else is interested, feel free to leave a comment down below for a mock battle request. And with that, take care, guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow.